Oh my, it's Kellee White.
Hey, it's James Van Pod.
What are you up to?
Thinking about changing the world.
Me too. We should do a show together.
What would it be about?
Let me show you.
The James and Kellee Show.
Hey! Hi, Kellee. Welcome back from wherever you were.
Thank you, and welcome to you. And I'm sorry I missed Friday night. I want to hear all about it.
Yes, the Evening of Spirit. It was a great. I haven't worked in a while,
Yeah.
and it's been I've just been staying at home and gardening and being with nature and my doggies, and it's been great. So I was ready for work, and Spirit was with me, and I had different guides with me this time.
Wow.
3 or 4 different guides that I've had before. But they often will work with the audience, that we bring in, and that we get different guides, and the people bring their guides as well.
Yeah.
And it was very philosophical. A lot of philosophy happened. One very strong lady, mother, came through and said to everybody on the call, all the people that were in the call, you have to know something from us on this side of life. Don't hold on to our material things. You put them in boxes and put them in closets. You hold on. What good is that going to do us? Give them to people. It would mean so much more to us on this side if you gave out our articles of clothing, of things we live with, our possessions, to people that need them. That would really help us.
Wow, what an important message.
And very good insight, and it makes sense, of course. So,
Yeah.
It's good. Good night, and my great audience. Is wonderful. It was great having that connection again. So yeah, I'll do another one at the end of August. It's going to be
great. And I think we're going to be doing some messages next Monday.
I think we are.
I think we are. Wow. Well, so I tell you what, we've got a little astrology. I'd like to go over a little astrology before we get into our fabulous topic, if that's all right.
Today's date is August the 4th.
2nd. Today's the 2nd.
Okay.
No, yeah, today's August 2nd.
I'm writing this all down. Okay.
Write this down. I mean, I'm going to have all of this on my website at kelleewhite.com, but I just wanted to talk about 2 important events that are coming up. The first one is Friday, so definitely write this down. Sun is in Leo, so I'm so happy. It's Leo time right now.
Yeah,
I love Leo time. Oh my gosh. It's so great because it brings in such great energy, and it really gives us that ability to shine. It's just great for us. Empowerment. On Friday, the sun is in Leo and it squares Uranus. So a square is not a good thing. It's when energy gets very intense, and it's squaring Uranus, which is very unstable at times, and it's a planet of surprise. And so I'm going to say this about Friday. Watch your energy. Okay, you don't have to be aggressive. You try to keep some sort of a balance, because it's going to be an aggressive day actually, and expect the unexpected on Friday. So you really want to keep your cool on Friday. I tell everybody this in advance: just keep your cool.
Hey, Kellee, would anything have to do with weather on Friday? Any kind of weird weather too?
It could, because everything is an extreme and everything is a surprise, and Uranus is the planet of surprise. Now it's in Taurus, so it could do with, I'm serious. It could do with home. It could be things of value. It could be physical things.
Physical earthquakes.
Earthquakes for sure. It could be any of the above. Yes. So Fridays. Money for sure. Yeah. So Friday just is be cool, be calm, stay in bed, relax. On Sunday, we have a really special day. And we have 2 things going for us that makes it really special. Number 1, we have a new moon in Leo, and the sun is in Leo. And now we have a new moon in Leo. So whenever there's a new moon, we always want to set our intentions to do something amazing. And Leo is about passion. So we want to get out your passion, because this is really the time for it. Also, the same day, this is how important that day is. It's the Lion's Gate portal. And the Lion's Gate portal is always on August 8th. So and I'll talk about the number 8 in a minute, but it's the activation of the planet Sirius, and Sirius is the bright star, and it always comes in on August 8th, and it opens up all of this energy for us. It brings creative energy. It brings good luck. It brings good fortune. It brings magic. So if you really
It
are
brings
thinking of,
realization.
yes, yes, yes. And the eights of this are really important because it's August 8th, so it's a double eighth. So it's a really powerful day. And eights bring authority, they bring self-confidence, they bring a love of humanity, which is really important. Eights help us reach our goals. So on the new moon, you really want to use that energy to set your intention with passion and conviction, which is what the eight is. And also, the eights mean karmically to give back. So, whatever your intention is, you're here to help the world. You want to put that out there.
Wow.
It's a powerful day.
Wow.
I know. I had to start off with that.
I've always liked eights.
Me
I
too.
really have. I always liked the
Love
number
them.
eight. Wow. Okay, I wrote that down. I'm gonna
Good.
send it to all my friends.
Yes. Oh, and I'll get you the rest of it, and you can send everybody. Yeah.
They're all asking, has Kellee sent you anything yet? Well, now we have an interesting topic, eh?
Very interesting topic.
Past life regression. So,
Yeah. Yes.
Kellee,
Should I
tell me
start
about
with? Should I
since
start with?
you're a therapist, tell me
Well,
about
let
your
me start
thoughts.
with my grandson because think this is really important. And I told this I think last week on my show, but it's worth repeating. So remember this, everybody. If you have a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old, and probably works with 5 too, but 3 and 4 seems to be the number here. So my baby grandson is 4 years old, 4.5, and I was with him a couple of weeks ago, and he doesn't have a religious background. So and his parents are, I would say, more left brain than anything. So I said to him, August, I want to ask you something. He said, okay, Gigi, what do you want to ask me? And I said, what's heaven like? And he looked at me and he said, oh, Gigi, heaven is so beautiful. Heaven is so beautiful. The paintings are so beautiful. And I paint in heaven. And I said, you do? Are you going to paint while you're here this time? And he said, no, I'm going to do something different. You know, Gigi, we come to heaven. When we're in heaven, we're not there very long. Then we come here, we come back here. And you know what, Gigi? When we come back here, we don't have our memories. They take away all our memories. And I said, why do they take away our memories, August? And he said, so we can create new ones. So we just heard that, and it's
Yeah,
true. It's true, right?
very true. Very, very true. Very, very true. Yeah.
Very, very true.
Yeah, children are so open from the other
Yeah.
side. They've just come from the other side, so their minds are very much that way. And it's a look at
Yeah.
life. And as you said, between those ages, 2 to 4 to 5, even 6, 7,
Yeah.
probably right there starts shutting down. You can really, I tell old parents, please just record things,
Yes.
record them, because it's truth. It's truth. You know, they haven't
Yeah.
been indoctrinated yet into this vibration, really.
Right.
The
That's
innocence,
so
the joy
true.
is there, you know, and
Right.
that's the secret of life is keeping that child alive, you know, your whole life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
Wow.
past life regression, you know, many people ask that question. Well, you know, why don't you remember your past lives? Why can't you? And I was told once, and I believe this, that in the subconscious, of course, every experience the soul's ever had is in the soul's memory bank.
Yeah.
And the soul, as we know, is much more than just this physical body. People have to think of the soul as, like I often say, 20% of the soul is within the body,
Yeah.
80% is outside of us.
Yeah.
Now, not necessarily the exact percentage, but the idea that most of us is outside on other levels
Yeah.
of the soul. And so this is just a small part of our soul. And our soul on those other levels is outside of linear time. So there is no such thing as time.
Mhm.
So a soul is like a tree in a way. You have all these different branches of the tree, and they're experiencing something different over here and over here and over here, all at the same time or at different times. So you could be in past experiences and past lives in 1500s or 1100s or a different galaxy, a different universe, or maybe in future existences. And you can
Right.
be aware of this one. I don't know, but I'm going to say I do believe that what we do in this moment here, for whatever reason, our thoughts, our words, our acts can affect the past and can affect the
Yeah.
future. Have you
Yes.
heard that before? That
I
because
I have, absolutely. It's it's a based on a spiritual law. Yeah, I
but it's
mean,
a
it's
progression, it's about
uh,
growing, it's a growth, it's an awareness
yes.
thing.
Yep. It's definitely an awareness piece here.
So the only thing is people have to be aware that, yes, there is a linear part in that if you're gonna stay in the human part of things,
Mhm,
yes. I guess we'd say yes, if we look at it human, linear-wise, time-wise, you can go into your past, which would linear be past now,
mhm.
and progressive, which is future. So a lot of people have had those experiences. So why can't you remember, let's say, those incredible past experiences? I think that it's a grace from God because I think if we
Yeah,
came back here and we had the memory of a past and we realized how much we hurt people or destroyed people or killed people, we would
yeah.
be so obsessed with that life that we wouldn't be ready to learn lessons in this present life. We wouldn't
Yes,
be able to learn
yes.
these lessons.
Right.
And I know firsthand about that because I know, and I always had a feeling World War II that I was in World War II. I know I was. The fascinating with Nazi Germany, Hitler was the whole thing. I just had this fascination. I could not get enough of it. And my
Mm.
50 of my family members were killed in Auschwitz. Okay.
Wow.
Now, weird thing was, I always had this thing about Germany in past lives. And but I never knew which side I was on. Two things happened. I was regressed once with Dr. Brian Weiss, who's
Mhm.
a past life regressionist, of course, one of the foremost in the country. And he just said to people, just do whatever you want. The intention is set an intention, and I set an intention in my mind. My question. I said, "Why?" This is years ago, and it's but maybe 15, 20 years ago. Why am I a medium, and why would I choose to come back as a medium, being known all over the world, millions of people? Why would I choose that kind of a
Yeah.
life, being able to ridicule and to reach me? I'm pretty shy. Why would I do that?
Mm.
And it was so interesting. But then I saw myself, like a flash of myself, my eyes and my mustache, always the same. And I saw that, and it was me, and I was a general in a war, and the uniform changed. And then another war, I was a general, uniform change, several wars, and I was always responsible for telling my men when to go in and kill people. So now I have to
Oh,
come back in this lifetime to heal millions of people about that.
wow.
And that to
Wow.
me was incredible, and it went alongside with a dream I had. You know this dream I told you several years ago. I had this dream where it was a twilight dream. We were just about to wake up. I was in a I was 1938 Germany. It was a cobblestone street. There was a man across the street in a fedora and three-piece suit, and he was a friend of mine, and I was in a nice suit. And I said, I gotta go now. And he says, okay, we'll see you again. He's just a friend. And he said, hi, Hitler. And I went, hi. Oh, I can't say that anymore. And I woke up.
Oh my god. So
So,
I guess you figured out what side you were on.
yeah, I
Oh,
feel some of my relatives could have been.
oh my
Yeah. So,
gosh.
when we talk about that, it is grace because we certainly wouldn't accomplish the lessons we've come back for if we were so haunted by past
Yeah.
experiences.
And I think when we come back, we choose a different costume, a lot of different things, so we can have a different lens to. I always believe we come back to learn empathy and compassion, but in a different lens would give us that.
And Kelly, I like to say it's the analogy I love using. I love using this analogy because it works so well as a stage play. That one
Yes.
time you come back, we are actors, like Shakespeare said, we're merely actors on stage, right? And
Yes.
we come back as a father, we come back as a mother, we come back as a boy that's going to be is going to commit suicide or has a drug addiction, or
Right.
someone goes through with murder, or someone has suicide, or whatever it might be, and we
Mhm.
have to work from the grandfather's angle, from the sister's, all the different angles, all the different characters of that play.
Yeah.
I think it's closer to it. You have to
I
learn
think
all the
so
different
too. Yeah.
ways of love and ways of doing someone else's point of view, if you will, someone
Right.
else's perspective, using empathy and compassion, patience, and forgiveness the whole way through.
I get asked this question all the time, and I'm sure you get asked this question. How many lives do we have?
So that's a great question. And I always answer it the same way by saying, well, it's a very human question
Yeah.
because are you talking about in on this earth? Because there are millions and millions of galaxies and universes. This is
Right.
just one space. There are worlds within worlds within worlds, and there are different forms of life, not just human.
Right.
So, and I don't think there's a finite number of life you live. I think it's more about experiences you have to have, or you desire to have, or your soul has to, in order to learn. to gain knowledge, wisdom. I think it's more important about that. And I think things are in such perfectly divine order. And the funny part of the whole thing is things are so chaotic, but yet I think there is that energy, that power that, as our friend Mavis Patilla says, can mark the fall of the sparrow's fall, right? Can mark when the sparrow falls out of its nest at the same time. You know, the seasons change, and it's just there's too much there. There's too much in order,
Yeah.
but we think it's not. Yeah.
Right, right. Well, and it's interesting, 51% of the population believe in reincarnation. But if you just look, and you're so into your plants, if you just look at plants, they're constantly recharging, regrowing. They grow, they die, the seeds come back,
Well, every day how many cells do we die off us
right?
every single day and come back new
Right,
renewal? That's what life is. It's movement. It's death
right,
is just the ending to a new beginning. It's the beginning of a new beginning, basically.
right.
I found this a definition of the past life
Okay.
regression. I really love it. PLR. Past life regression is a gentle form of hypnotherapy which takes an individual back through time to their previous lives or incarnations by assessing memories and experiences that are normally hidden in their subconscious mind. Life today is so busy and so noisy that these memories are usually concealed beneath the noise of everyday thoughts. A past life regression session guides you out of the noise and into a deeply quiet and peaceful state where it's far easier to locate the memories held in your subconscious mind. So, we're going to do that later in the session. I'll do a past life regression for people.
Oh, so people will get an experience of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
think that's
it's about
great.
learning. And it's all about learning. It's all about progressing. It's all about understanding, is really
Right,
what it's about.
right. And there are other ways to, if you are just now, thinking about reincarnation, some of the ideas, some of the things that you may know about it is you may have reoccurring dreams. Like as you had, James, and I know I used to have reoccurring dreams from the time I was about 5 on. I'd have the same dream over and over and over that I was a young boy and I was on an island somewhere and a volcano was erupting and I had to warn everybody and I ran into the water and I drowned. And now as a therapist, I would probably look at that dream and go, well, I could really diagnose it this way. But I had the dream so many times from the time I was 5 years old on, then what happened is during a and here's another thing, during a yoga, I was doing yoga, and somehow that kundalini energy when I was doing yoga pushed it came up and out, and I could see myself running down the hill as a 14-year-old boy, screaming to help everybody, running into the water, to save people, and running into the water because I had no choice, and drown. And then years later, you and I went to Tahiti, and I was scared to go in the water. I mean, I had a horrible fear
Remember
of
that?
water. And
I had
you
to hold
took
your
my
hand.
hand.
Yeah,
You held my hand and you said, "Come on, honey, we can do it this way." And then I felt safe enough to do it, to go in the water.
yeah, yeah.
So fears, I mean, a lot of people that if you've had irrational fears, fears of flying, fears of snakes, fears of
Height, height.
height. Oh, that's a big one.
People,
Yeah.
I've done a lot of regression. People being thrown off mountains or sacrifices. People that are afraid to do spiritual work because they were killed in a past life, but they moved.
Yes. Oh, that's a huge one.
It's
That blocks a lot of people.
Yeah, and left fear of being ridiculed because of another lifetime. Perhaps you were in a lifetime, and so many different things. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's also when we talk about past lives, we do deja vu. So, what do you think deja vu is, Kelly?
Deja vu in French means already seen,
Yeah,
which is interesting. It's a feeling of having already experienced the present moment. That's one, but it also sparks memories and feelings and sensations, deja vu. And I believe it has a lot to do with past life.
yeah. So it's I'm asked that question, I used to believe it was just well, you see things before they happen, but then
Mhm.
what happened, I did that when I was 20 something, 22, I think it was. Drove cross country with a friend of mine from Florida to California. Never been before through these states. And we went to New Orleans the first time, and I knew every single street. I knew where this church was located. I knew if we went this way, it'd be that way. I knew it was a cemetery. I knew the restaurant. I just knew I'd been there before. So it's that sense at deja vu. I'd been there before, and I knew that I have had a past life there. I just knew it.
So you and I've never had had this conversation, but I had the same exact experience.
In New Orleans?
New Orleans, so much so that I actually had to move there. I actually knew every street, I knew everything. I To this day, I think about how I've had lives there, very important ones there.
I filmed a movie there with where when I predicted to Ava Longoria that she'd be well known, which happened. I did a movie there with her before Ghost Whisperer, and I knew every place we were going to.
Right.
It was the weirdest.
Isn't that
It's weird.
wild?
So it's also people have a sense that when they come back, remember, it's all memory.
Yeah.
So if it's something in the past, like for let's say you were French, you might have this overwhelming sense of loving French food, loving the French
Mhm.
language, going to France, or you'll be drawn into these sorts of things that you love. I know I've lived as a black person, I guess you'd say.
Mhm.
I just relate so much to that heritage. I just do. I can relate to that. I can relate to a lot of different civil time periods,
Mhm.
uh, countries. I cannot relate to, and I know I've had lifetimes in the Far East. I know I've had lifetimes there. I can't relate to it as much as other places like Western Europe. But another regression I did with Brian Weiss in a group. I was with my friend Brian, my other friend Brian, and we were told, look at each other and let your eyes just go lightly soft, and your eyes might close, and try to become aware of a face on that person sitting in front of you. And we both did that. And it was very strange because I didn't get much of anything on my partner. And I just, afterwards, we're told to compare your notes. And I said to my friend Brian, I said, well, I didn't get much of anything, but I saw you as a Tibetan monk. And he said, that's weird because I saw you as a Tibetan monk. And then, and since
Oh,
then, I'd seen him once walk down the steps in front of me, and immediately I got it. Well, twice it happened with my partner Brian. That was once. So he's walking down the steps in front of me. I saw a bald patch on his head. I knew he was a monk, and I was a monk in a different order. And another time, sorry, I'm keep on going on here, but this is
wow.
why I knew that I was in France. Speaking of France, and I knew that this person Brian, in that lifetime, that I was uh, a hooker, a prostitute, and I knew it. The big dress, the whole thing on going on there. And I remember he used to come from war. He was a soldier in the middle of the country somewhere, and he'd ride his horse into the city to go and find me, and we would have sex. And I could tell you exactly what the room looked like, and there was a balcony afterwards. And I remember he used to go and he had to leave me, go back to war, and I would know I'd cry silently because I knew I might not ever see him again, and I knew that I loved him, but he didn't know that I loved him.
Oh my
So
gosh.
4 years ago, I'm back to Paris with my friend Marianne. I actually stayed in a hotel, and the hotel had a balcony, and I was writing one of my books, and I think Wisdom from the Guides, and I looked over, and that flash came that the balcony, and I looked over, and
Oh
that
my
came again.
gosh.
I felt
Wow.
the
Yeah.
dress. I felt the layers of the clothing, and
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
interesting
That's
stuff.
amazing. Wow. Um, also, when you meet somebody, you may have that recognition too, that
Right.
soul recognition.
That's exactly right, because I I I s I know you, like, when I met you, Kelly, we connected
Oh,
right away,
immediately.
and when you meet someone you know each other from the inside out. You just
Yeah.
speak the same language, you know each other.
I knew you actually when I first read your first book in 97, I knew, and this is 3 years before my head injury, before I became a psychic actually. I said to myself, "Oh, I'm going to meet him and I'm going to be really good friends with him." I actually heard that. I said, "How can that be?" But it be.
But it
It
be.
be.
It
Yeah.
be. Yeah. I think when
So
you
much.
explore past life, it
Oh
does
yeah.
help you understand your present life in many ways, ways you behave, relationships you have with other people, in your
Yeah.
family, marriages, partnerships, if you will, your hobbies, your interests, your joys. I mean,
Right.
yeah, all of us have these hobbies, these
Mhm.
interests. Where do they come from? Even
Right.
down to what kind of books we read. There's an interest there. I believe it's
Right.
all about our past life experiences, soul
Right.
experiences.
Jenny Rebecca is asking, is it a soul contract maybe?
Of course. So I think that before we come back into this incarnation, we're just talking about this physical one right now.
Yeah.
We have several at once, everybody.
Right.
So it is possible to communicate with someone who passed over, because the personality you knew in this lifetime
Hmm.
is still on that other side waiting for you to come back up. So we can say it's part of that soul group. Although
Yeah.
you as a soul could be out having another lifetime with some other aspects of that soul too. But that's the more quantum physics. Um, but yeah, I really do. Yeah, I'm sorry, I lost the train of thought.
Um, Said so so Mary Malville says, so would soulmates be past lives meeting together again in another life?
100%. So you
Mhm.
learn together in another lifetime. I mean, I was married to the woman. I met this lady when I was, let's see, I was in college, and she walked out on stage. I was doing a stage production thing on stage, and she walked out, and I looked at her, and this is when I was 18, before anything believed anything psychic, and I said, "Oh, I'm going to marry that girl one day." And to make a long story short, and a very interesting story, I did. I ended up marrying, and I knew I had to marry her. I just knew it, and it was against everything that you think, but I had to do it. And once it was done, it was almost like a leftover from another lifetime. Now, this is interesting because my 10 years before that, I went to see, I mean, before we get together, a healer said to me,
Mhm.
you name this girl. And I said, well, I don't know one like that. He goes, oh, you know her. I said, well, I met a girl in college with that same name. He said, you're going to marry her. I said, why would I marry her? He said, because in a past life, you didn't make the commitment. You promised her and promised her family, and you ran away at the wedding. So in this lifetime, you have to see it through.
So you had that feeling, you knew
I knew it.
that you had to do something there.
Yeah.
Wow. Isn't that amazing?
And
Janice,
so
oh,
I'm
go ahead.
sorry, so family members are having trouble with everybody, like, family
Mhm.
members, partners, children, even your children.
Yeah.
You gotta ask yourself before you get the knee-jerk reaction of the emotion, like, "Argh," and judgment,
Mhm.
stop, take a few deep breaths, say, "What are they teaching me? What am I
Yeah.
here to learn from them? What is that, if them being violent or upset, or what is it teaching me to learn about them and myself? What's our relationship?" If you
Yeah.
start looking at that when exploring it, it's a better way to understand it.
Well, it's also interesting to look at the relationship and wonder and have the feelings of, was I her mother before? Was she my mother? Was my this father my brother? Was, because we all change roles in families.
Well, you were definitely your mother's mother, or care.
Oh,
When I remember your relationship with your mother, and you were her mother, no doubt about it.
yes, this is
And I
true.
was my father's father, no doubt
Yeah.
about it. Always
Yeah.
felt that way. Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting, isn't it? Um, how can you tell if someone is a newer soul or an old soul who's lived many lifetimes? Are there any telltale signs? Good question, Lena.
Go right ahead, Kelly. What do you think about that?
Well, I can usually tell.
Yeah. Being a
I
therapist.
can usually spot them. Um, some people I work with, and I just know they're old souls because the way they view life, the way they have some philosophy, the way they have some spirituality, the way they have empathy, the way they have compassion, usually that creates an older soul comes in. Now, having said that, there are some young children being born right now that are they're old souls from other galaxies that are here. So it's interesting to me that they have wisdom, they have empathy, but
Uh,
usually,
Kevin Russell from our guest last week.
okay. Oh, Kevin Russell, can we talk?
Old
Seriously,
soul.
not from here, very old soul.
Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. But I think you can tell by, and it's not by an age thing. You can look at young people, teenagers, 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds, and say, wow, that person is so wise, has so much depth to them, usually. I think that's how I tell, James. Well, how about you?
Same exact thing you said, just said differently, in that the perspective that they have.
Yeah.
An older soul, to me, the perspective is expanded. There's more of an expanded
Yeah.
perspective. Their objectivity,
And
more
maybe they have more patience.
more patience, more understanding, more
Yeah.
empathy, more sense of it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right.
That it's
It's
going to be okay. That's actually it. It's funny when COVID hit, what, a year and a half ago, I knew that we had to work to help people get through this, but I also knew that we were going to be okay.
We'll always be okay,
We'll always
because
be
there's no
okay.
death.
Yeah.
There's only love. Love is who we are, and
Yes.
that's really what it's about. And the more one can love oneself, the closer you are to your truth. The
Yeah.
further you get from loving yourself, the further you are from your truth. And when you're
Yeah.
not in your truth, you feel freaked out.
Yeah, yes, that's so true, so true. So true. Bill Feldman says, I often have images of myself as a soldier in the Civil War. Also have a unique interest in that as well. I do too, Bill. I have such a unique fascination with that. He said, I know I died in uniform under a large tree. That would
I
make sense.
agree. I wish I remembered to do this, but I didn't. When I was a little boy, about 11 years old, maybe 10 years old, I was sitting on a Saturday morning, eating my cereal, and I was just doodling. And I looked down, and it was a Civil War soldier with a big mustache and big eyes. And if I take that picture right now with the hat, the Civil War hat, which I didn't even know what that was, with the two
Right.
swords, and if I took that and I held that drawing right now to my face, you'd be, oh my God, it's you. So I was a young kid just drawing my past life in the Civil War. No
Wow.
doubt about it. No doubt
That's
about it.
isn't that something? Well, I have to tell you a wild story. Uh, Before my head injury, again, a lot of this stuff happened before my head injury. I had just gotten hired for a company and I walked into my new boss. And as I walked into my new boss, all I could see was he was in a Civil War outfit.
Yeah.
Now, he was dressed, in whatever they wore in the 90s, but I saw a Civil War outfit and I couldn't shake that the entire time I worked there. I couldn't shake what I saw. Isn't that
Wow.
wild?
Yes, and I think that we have to do a show on hauntings because
I'll
I
write
had
that
a
down.
amazing Civil War experience haunting at Loretta Lynn's house, and I'll
Wait a
tell
minute, Loretta Lynn?
Loretta Lynn.
Okay, we gotta
Yeah,
hear this story.
good
You
friend.
wanna save it for our haunting
For a
show?
haunting show, but it was
Okay.
really an amazing experience that I'm pretty skeptical and cynical, and it was an amazing. It blew me away, but it has to do with the Civil War, and Loretta Lynn, where she lives, is very haunted. She has a haunted mansion.
Wow, wow, isn't that interesting?
Yeah, you can find
What?
that on YouTube too. It's there.
Oh my gosh. So Kathy Emery Hutton says, "How do you know if you're predicting future or experiencing something from reincarnation?" Good question.
Well, number one, I guess got a download from Spirit for something. I'll tell you in a second. But I think it's visceral. I think you'll have a visceral response to something. You'll
Yeah.
know within your being. You'll have the knowingness
Yeah.
of that. I feel I'm there. I know that
Yeah.
I'm there. It's not something you're imagining or crazy. You know it's visceral.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Wow.
I was just getting downloaded that when we were just talking here because we work with our guides around us, and they just showed me something very very interesting. They said to me, "Look at it this way," and it was a record. Now remember the 33 records,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Albums. And
Yeah.
you put the album down, and what do you do with the needle? You take the arm and you put the needle onto a track. They said each record has all your lifetimes, and you're just touching upon the needle on one of the tracks.
Oh, I love it. I love that. Living
That's it.
with a musician, that's a good one. Um,
This makes sense. Oh,
wow. Um, let's see. Loretta Lynn even has ghost horses at Hurricane Mills, I just read.
that's where it is. Hurricane Mills. That's right. That's the name of it. I've
Oh
been there.
my
I spent the
gosh.
night. I spent the night in Hurricane Mills.
Oh my James, I gotta hear we have to hear about this one.
Mhm.
Somebody just asked, are there soul walk-ins and walkouts in a lifetime, and how does one know?
Well, that's a good question. So a walk-in, Ruth Montgomery, I believe, coined that
Hmm.
phrase where
Yeah.
the soul is ready to leave and another soul comes in and that soul exits. I
Hmm.
don't know enough about that. I believe it
Yeah.
could happen, sure,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Kelly, maybe you know more
I
about this.
I believe that can happen too. I think it's an agreed upon contract that so and so will only live so long, and the other soul decides, is it agreed upon to come into the same body and to finish off what they are going to do. I've seen many 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 situations like that.
Yeah, I believe it's true.
Yeah. Oh, this is so. Are ghosts really stuck? Are their souls stuck? Shannon Joan asked that.
Well, I'm going to refer to a reading I did with a very famous medium in England named Gordon Smith. And we were working at a seaside center here in Encinitas, California. And someone said, ghosts and earthbound spirits. What do you think? And he said, oh, love, we're the only ones that are earthbound. We're the ones that are earthbound. They're not. They're free. So I like that explanation
Right.
because I believe we get so caught up in fear and Hollywood with
Oh.
and I'm guilty because I worked on a show with these people,
Mm.
but that we get caught up in that whole thing about being stuck and earthbound.
Yeah.
this isn't our home. That's our home.
Right.
We're in the dream state here. That's where we're awake, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think we'd hesitate to go back home. Now,
No.
saying that, I do believe that there is an emotional connection to a certain space and time. And let's
Mhm.
say, for instance, we talk about the Civil War, when there's a strong emotional thing, that aspect, that memory, that vision is there, that emotion is that's
Yeah.
charged. And I think that that still stays charged. So that song plays over and over again on that album, right?
Yeah.
But I think that's something that I don't think you're stuck there, but there certainly is a strong memory, an emotional memory there.
Yeah.
I don't think we're ever stuck. I do believe, though, Kellee, um, because I work with Marianne Winkowski for Ghost Whisperer, and this made a little bit of sense to me to a point. If there's someone that passes over quickly, for let's say a
Mhm.
man gets hit by a train, and he's out of his body, just like the movie Ghost, right?
Right.
So man gets hit, and he has unfinished business. His wife doesn't know where the policy is, and maybe he just wants to stay close enough to her to let her know
Yeah.
where the policy is. Or
Yes.
maybe it's a mother who dies in childbirth, and the baby is alive, and the mother's mind, she might think, "I'd be closer to her if I stay here in the physical world. I got
Yeah.
to stay," but she really had to be better able to really to influence her from the spirit side of life. So, but that you can understand when people think
Yeah.
you're stuck, and and I could get that, but
Mhm.
I do think there's a lot of help on the other side. I think our loved ones, our family, our friends, or the reception team is over there to
Yeah.
bring us over. I don't think
Oh,
anyone's ever stuck.
absolutely. So Pauline Di Benedetto says, if your loved one has reincarnated, can you still connect with their spirit?
Yes, so that's what I just said earlier, because that's the number two question we always get, which is that we are many our soul is made up of many layers, if you will, many
Mhm.
we got many spaces and places. So right now, as we're sitting here, you can have several past lives in other universes, other time periods, and so forth, and experience this one, okay, and future ones as well. But the people in your soul group in this present lifetime, that personalities that you know, will continue to come back with you. So that
Mhm.
personality, that spirit, will still be on the spirit side of life, waiting for you, and you can
Right.
contact them for sure.
And I don't think, unlike I know I heard my grandson say that you come back really fast, but who knows what time period that is because,
This
right?
is
I
interesting.
mean, I mean it.
I've heard this in different ways, and
Mhm.
you know, however, the way I look at my truth, how I make my truth, is if I experience it over and over and over again, and it feels right. And I've heard through a lot of past life regressions that souls that tend to, and we've heard this with our good friend
Mhm.
from New
Yep.
York, souls that tend to leave as children tend to come back quicker.
Yeah. Yes, I've
Um,
heard that. That makes so much sense too.
Suicides as well. Suicides tend to come back quicker as well, they say.
I
So
have to.
suicide.
This is a good question. Julie Aker says, "Is there a connection to mental health and psychic abilities, as in the illness could be misdiagnosed, but rather you are actually psychic?" 100%.
100%.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I
Because
think Kelly and I have been probably locked up in
well,
another life,
come
probably
on, you know
because
that. I've got chills as I'm saying that, as I was reading that. Yes, I mean, often people that are bipolar actually have a lot of psychic ability, or
of
even
schizophrenia.
schizophrenia. It's right up there where the brain opens up for that for psychic ability. Yeah,
So
good question.
I'd
Thank
like
you.
to do a little regression for everybody, if that's
Ooh, everybody get this is gonna be so exciting.
so we'll do a little regression, and I'll keep it simple. It'll be a
Okay.
simple one. But it's going to be I'm gonna bring it back to two experiences, maybe three, I don't know. Let spirit take over. And you don't have to do anything. So do nothing. All I really want to do is relax. And what you'll do is you'll just listen to the sound of my voice, right? And you'll hear some music underneath me. I'll play some music here. And I'm just going to give you the way of um just to guide you and let your own soul take you to a space that I think you'll enjoy. Um, so I think as we begin, I just want you to close your eyes and just set up the intention that I'm going to explore my soul. I'm going to let my soul show me spaces and places that that I'd like to know about. So we're just going to begin by relaxing ourselves, just relaxing, listening to some lovely music, and realizing number one, that we are love. All of us are made from love. We have love in our everyday lives, but do we recognize it? So now is just a time for you to be with yourself, to explore. I'm just going to help you to relax by using the breath. The breath is natural. So as we open ourselves up to the awareness of the breath, it empowers us. It brings us prana, life, light. And as we exhale, we let go of the old energy, the old fears, limitations, old ways of being, old judgments. And it brings us to this lovely space of neutrality, of balance. So together, imagine now this beautiful, beautiful stardust, universal energies all around you. And you're going to inhale through your nose and bring that stardust into the body. And inhale all the way down to your feet. Inhale and exhale. Let it go out of the mouth. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Good. And again, just relaxing and inhale and exhale. Let it go. Let it go. And you might even envision a beach with the waves just ebbing and flowing, the water coming onto the sand. And then we back out to the ocean, just like your breath, in and out, in and out. And as we do this beautiful natural breath, we imagine these are waves of time and space. Waves of time and space. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. And imagine now as you continue the breath on your own natural rhythm, that you sense this feeling of floating, perhaps a magic carpet where you're lying down in a bed, just floating around the ethers, the spaces and places, the different universes. And your soul guides you. Your soul guides you to a lovely space, and it looks like some sort of pavilion, maybe made out of gold and mother of pearl and red. It's a lovely pavilion, lovely building of knowledge and wisdom. And before you know it, you are there sitting in a chair at this pavilion, in this pavilion, and there are two big doors in front of you. Two very different doors. One might be very ornate, maybe bejeweled, lots of material, very pretty. And another could be very much a simpler door. It doesn't matter. Just create the door you like, the two different doors. And I'm going to count you now from 3 down to 0. And as we get down to 0, I would like for you to choose a door and to slowly open. So 3, go towards the doors. 2, look at the doors again, go closer. 1, even closer. And 0. Choose your door and walk on through. Go through the door. And as you walk through this door, you feel this lovely, overwhelming sense of ease and peace and mists before you. And you feel as if you're descending in these mists, gently, gently descending, all the way going down further and further to a lovely space, a lovely visitation, if you will. And as you go down, you begin to feel a sense of a denseness, a physicality. And I want you to look down now at your feet, towards your feet. And there is the land below you. Could be forest, trees, could be sand. It could be a city, it could be pavement, cement. Whatever it is just fine. And look down now at your feet. Perhaps you're wearing some footwear, or maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe sandals, maybe shoes. What kind of shoes or footwear, if any, do you have on? And now look up the costume of dress, the type of dress, the time period. Bearskins, robe, toga, dress. What do you dress like? And as you look up now, look around in the location that you're at. Are you in a city, in a jungle, countryside, waterside? Where are you? And what time period do you feel that you're at? And as you look around, people come towards you, 2 or 3 people. And as they come towards you, you look at them and recognize them from this lifetime. It's a person from this current day. So recognize each one as a person that you're living with in this lifetime, that you know in this lifetime. And what is your relationship in that lifetime to that person or those people? What is your relationship? And what is the work that you're involved in that lifetime? What kind of work are you involved in? What lessons did your soul come back to learn in that lifetime? What lessons did your soul come back to learn in that particular lifetime? And as you close your eyes, you find suddenly that you're ascending higher and higher. That lifetime now becomes back into the ocean of waves of time and space. You're out of that lifetime feeling happy and joyful, back to your soul. No matter what happened in that lifetime, now in between lives, you're happy, you're back to your core being. And now you find suddenly you're back in front of the new door, the second door. So 3, walk to the door. 2, touch the door. 1, going to go in. 0, open the door and walk in to this new door. And once again, you feel that you're floating with the ethers. Your soul is guiding you gently, gently going now to visit a space and time that is very important for you to know about for this current life. So as you feel this lovely, gentle descension down to a physical vibration, another space and time, once again become aware as you gently touch the earth. Look down and see what kind of terrain you're met with. Is it cement, or is it jungle, forest, water, sand? Look down at your feet. Are you wearing any footwear at all? If you are, what does it look like? And slowly again, look at the clothing you're wearing, if any. What time period is this? And as you put your head up and look around the area that you're in, what is the environment like? Are you in a city? Is it a jungle? Is it the ocean? Is it the desert? Are there buildings around you? Are there palaces? Are there pyramids? Are there regular contemporary buildings? What's around you, and what time period does it feel like? And as your soul remembers this, there are 3 people that come to you in that lifetime. 3 people who you know in this lifetime again. Could be 3 different people, but ones that are very important in that lifetime for your growth, your understanding. What type of work are you doing in that life? What is your profession, if any? And what lessons does your soul have to learn? What important lessons in that second life do you need to learn that are very important? And as you have that awareness, close your eyes, and immediately you ascend again back in the ethers, feeling light and happy. Out of that denseness, you have an awareness, you have an expansion of your soul, the lessons your soul needs to learn. And then slowly, you find that your soul guides you back to this space and time. And as it guides you back, your soul gently brings you back with the awareness now, at this time, Your soul reveals to you now, what lessons have you come back in this current life to learn? What particular lessons have you come back in this current life to learn? How do you do that? How do you learn those lessons? Your soul will guide you. You take a deep breath all the way in and slowly exhale. Let it go. Let it go. Slowly come back into the body. Feel your feet on the floor, your legs, your backs, your chest, your stomach, your arms, your hands, your neck, your head. Start wiggling your fingers a little bit, moving around a little bit. Maybe take one more deep breath. You can stretch. And when you're ready, slowly open up your eyes and be as one.
Wow. Wow. That was very powerful. Mm-hmm. I had a very interesting experience with.
What was your experience?
Well, one of them, I was a man. I was a Native American, older man, as somebody that was trying to save people, as a medicine man, and people around me were dying, and I did everything that I could. It seems to be a theme in my life.
Trying to help you.
Trying to help, and the lesson I got in both lives, in both of them, was the same. It was about release, just release.
What was the second lifetime, Kellee?
That was the second one. The first one was I was a female, and I was very young, and I was fiercely independent, and I just loved my independence, and it was trying to be taken away from me, and I just loved my independence. And really, the message is I'm fiercely independent. Here,
What were the lessons you came back in this lifetime to learn?
in the first life, it was
in this current life.
in this I can teach, I can do, and let it go.
Yeah,
And
you don't
let
have to
it go.
save everyone.
I don't have to save everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
I remind you that every day.
Every day, every single day. And I just got 2 messages of it. Yes, thank you very much. Because this lifetime, damn it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to let that go. That was an amazing experience. Let's see what other people have. Let's see.
Modena said I learned things to fight. I had to learn. I had some things I had to fight. You had to be strong,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. Liz, I was surrounded by fairies. I need to believe in my gift. Oh, I love it when fairies appear. Julie says, thank you. That was amazing and interesting. 2 very different lives. One time, a female, financially uncomfortable with not enough hours in the day to sew or make something. Very interesting. When when I was the man, it was the opposite. I was dressed well and earned the money in minutes, not hours.
Interesting, isn't it? Both sides of that, learning the both sides.
Wow.
It'd be interesting. I'd like to hear what lessons in this current lifetime too. So when you put your comments in,
Yeah,
let us know the lessons you learned in the past lives and
yeah.
then current life. I find that fascinating.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see what some of the lessons were. Oh, Bernadette Curtis said, I learned fairness and loss. Oh, thank you for, I got chills. Thank you for saying that. Tracy says, I learned relationships. Laura says, my lesson was to relax and be happy no matter the life.
Wow.
Mm.
Native American girl to learn love. Second, a male gladiator to learn empathy. Now to learn acceptance.
Yeah. It says, Paul Cat says, in one life I had everything, and in another life I had very little. It seems my current life is about half and half. Sometimes I have everything, and sometimes I have nothing.
So what is that? Lesson of balance.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Patience. I love that one. That's a good one, Kristen. Balance. Shauna says balance, self-love, and fire givers. I'm not sure what that is, but I love this one. What is it? Where did this go? Oh, it was something getting along with others. It
All
was
right. Jenny said I was in a
temple.
class the first time, and then I was a slave in the second one. That makes sense. Balance again. Yeah.
Balance, right?
Yeah.
Um, um, let me see. Current life, Michelle says, is to let things flow.
Let things flow. Exactly.
Yeah.
Jody W is a really good one here. Jody, my lesson was to believe in beauty and ability within myself.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, gratitude is a big one. Oh, Nancy Austin says, I mainly got release the past over and over. Is that the truth? In the second one, the lesson I learned was never rely on a man to provide all the finances.
Oh God, no, can't do that. No. And the thing that helps me a lot is I love that song. I'm gonna play it because I'm gonna hear it again. The Power of Now,
Yeah,
which is the past is gone. You don't have the past. It's already gone. So
right,
let that one go. You can't live in the
right.
past. And
No,
the future is yet to be. So all we have is now. The power of now.
yes, the power of now. It's so true.
True.
Um, God, a lot of people have balanced learning trust. That was a big one. Love and understanding. Yep.
Yes.
Using my gifts to heal, Tracy. Yes. Yep.
And it's
Um,
interesting if you use gifts, and like a lot of people that want to talk about using mediumship or psychic work or healing work, and they abuse it, in another lifetime, you'll have to feel the result of that. By push
it's the
about integrity.
truth.
Really, really important.
That is so true. Um, Boy, I think people were loving this. So there, let me see. Um, Print says, I saw how as a child I was true to myself, lessons learned. I lost myself caring for others. Yep. Serving myself is finding me again. Yeah. Oh, Stacy Thompson says, my companion was a beautiful animal in both. Isn't that great?
That's great.
Yeah. Bill Feldman, I was a slave in Egypt. I learned pain, humility, and patience. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and what are you learning this lifetime? That's my. I'm just curious.
What are you learning in this lifetime? Oh, Liz, this is a great one. She says, never use your abilities to take advantage of others.
It's
That's the
true.
truth.
It's very true.
Mm, uh, okay, let's see. Want to see for myself. This is very interesting. Is this something we can go back on our own, James? They ask and explore more.
You certainly can. You certainly can. Yeah, you can do it on your own. You definitely do it on your own. I have a course on it at my school, but you can bring yourself self-guided meditation. Just to bring it, let your soul come out, and you can also do it in your dream state, and you can keep a
Yeah.
pad next to the bed and write things out that way too. That
Yeah.
would help. So for
Which
sure,
is the course for for your school?
it's about reading passive regression.
It is past life regression. Wow. How great. Um, this is great. And so let's talk on Wednesday. When is your mediumship coming up?
Oh, a Wednesday night, 4 o'clock. It is. Hold on one
Okay.
second. I was to end with this song. Um,
Okay.
Wednesday night, I'm doing a mediumship free gathering for people who are interested in mediumship too, because my class is opening up, and we only open up every 2 years. So I'm
Yeah.
going to be giving exercises, and we're going to, talk about mediumship, what it's about. We do some different types of progressive exercises, something like we did just now, guided
Mm,
meditations, just to see what you feel about mediumship. Does it work for you? Is it something you're
mm.
interested in or not? And that's really what it's about. So that's 4 o'clock on Wednesday right here.
Oh, great. And I just want to say that we have Roots of Healing Part 2 coming up on September 25th. And it's not set up yet to pay for it, but to join it. But um,
That went
this,
so well, like your last one. I know
it
you
was
did 10 hours.
so well. Yeah.
10
It,
hours this lady did.
it was amazing. It was amazing. So this is going to be a great one. So we're going to work on trauma and on spiritual laws, and then really going back into our past with our families and looking at our families of origin and what kind of things did we buy from that? What kind of things did we take from our families in the past and bring them with us that maybe we don't need anymore? So
Interesting. Okay, Kelly, Miss Tracy Nick, I just want to answer this because she said my
oh,
relationship never works out, so I'm not understanding what I'm supposed to learn. Why isn't your relationship working out? What aspect of you is needed to make these work out or not? Are you giving too much? Are you giving too less? What is that
yeah.
about? So you have to look at it very clearly. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. My lesson. Here you go. My lesson was not to save everyone, Kelly. Here's another one. My lesson
Right.
not saving everyone. They have to do it for themselves.
I feel you, Patricia. Hmm.
I was going to play this song. I love your cards. Thank you so much, James. Thank you. And in the future, we're going to have a psychic medium on Power Now. We're having Harry T from Australia on the show.
Do you guys? When is this coming up? Like 2 or 3 weeks.
September, I believe.
Yeah, you're going to love him. He's great.
And he's going to be our guest, another medium. So 3 mediums. So maybe we'll do a little thing.
That would be so fun.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I think we have to talk to Harry. And he sent me some lovely cards, Energy of the Soul, Oracle cards.
Yay, Harry.
Harry.
Yeah.
And he's adorable. He's a very cute guy.
Just fabulous.
Harry. Yeah, I look forward to that. That'd be great. And wow, this has been fun, Kellee. Thank you so much. It's been really
my
good. Thanks,
gosh, James, thank you. That was so much fun. And next week we have readings. It's going to be a lot of fun next week.
Readings next week. And also, people, if you want to write in with some subjects you would like us to do, write on Facebook pages or go to kellywhite.com or webprog.com and write what you'd like us to discuss with you if you like.
Great. All right.
Thanks, Renee. Thanks, Kellee.
Renee. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
You've been listening to Both Sides Now and Beyond, featuring spiritual medium and master teacher James Van Praagh and spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.
The James and Kellee Show.